Today I'm going to show you how we produced the track How You Made Me Feel alongside my homie CHRISUPTOWN.
How you made me feel.
I chose to work with Chris this summer. We actually made this record in August. You know, what I love about Chris is the keys, man. He's bringing such a soulful, feeling to any track he makes. That's also one of the reasons I called him up saying, yo, I need something warm. I'm working on this new project called Underworld, but I'm also trying to bring back this smoothness into, to the record. That's how it starts. It's beautiful. You have to know every session, almost every session, we start like with, a talk, random talk, deep talks, whatever. Something that's going to lead us into a creative bubble. You see what I mean? This one was about nostalgia. Somehow, I'm not a big fan of nostalgia, not gonna lie. It always brings me back into the past, and I'm about progress, I'm about future. And that being said, Chris opened up my mind to it. So I thought, you know what? Let's get outside of my comfort zone and talk about nostalgia. This is why we came up with this record called How You Made Me Feel. This song is about moments, awesome moments that are gone, that are behind you, that are gone forever, that you will never get to live again. Nostalgia. Came up with these lyrics where I think the vocals pretty nailed it. I really like it. That's how the record starts. I'm just going to play here the main vocal. Pretty much works out with the chords. But we'll get to the vocals later. Let me go, a little further here on the beats, because even though this is quite nostalgic, even though a bit emotional, you know me, I had to bring that energy, that climax, that moment where you just bump your head like, what is this? Myself, I got caught by my own track. I'm not used to make this kind of vibe, Of course, we went house, starting with like... By the way, can't forget about this pluck in the back, this sort of sonar sound. It brings attention, always hitting the same notes. Got some voice effects here that are pretty awesome. Wait, where is it? I mean, those are like small chops, and we just reworked some of the vocals. Doesn't really matter at this point. But what else do we have here? Let's go over the top drums, man. Let's go over the top drums. The main part of the song where like you will hear like most elements. Let me just mute the vocals here. All right, here we are. Melodies. Still the same thing. Added one pad because this is like the second chorus, the second drop. We also added that 90s piano. I call it piano dance, kind of dance music related. Love this, man. And you see, we kept that nostalgia in this song, so all instruments together, it sounds like this. The bass is a simple straight breeze, side chained on a kick. I could listen to this loop for hours. It's when you usually know you're onto the right track, you're onto something. But anyways, I was talking about the top drums, guys. Top drums is important for me. I have this this layer here. I call it loco. It's got nothing to do with Spanish loco. In French, we call it the locomotive. It's like a train wagon. It's like that abstract mechanic sound that you put in the back. You just get rid of the high end, that kind of sound. Not much high, not much bass. It's very hidden in a specific place in the mix, Got a second locomotive Shout out to Elijah, Japrod. So you see, that's basically the texture laying underneath the basic element of the drums, right? Of course, we have the 909 hats. There's a hat loop. We're getting there. What else do we have? Crash, of course. Is there a clap? Nope. Clap comes in. Very basic clap. I mean, basic house drums, top drums, along with the kick. That's what it sounds like. I always send like all my top drums to the bus, except for the kick. I know some of you add the kick to the drum bus. I like to keep the kick and the bass separate from the top drums. Everything that's in the high end, medium, I like to treat them in a certain way. So I mean, some basic EQs here on the loco. I added the Sheps 73. This compressor by UAD. Kept the locomotive pretty dry. The clap 2, the crash. I mean, those are great sounds. Doesn't need much mixing. It's also something I spoke about in a previous video. If you pick the right sounds, I mean, the mixing phase is facilitated, because after so many years making music, you start to pick sounds that go together and that will recreate the full spectrum of frequencies, and that's important, in your mixing. I used to over mix my songs, man. Not gonna lie, when you're a younger producer but insecure, you tend to add more, whether it's like melody elements, drums, or just like compressors and EQs and stuff like that. So try to keep it very clean here. Of course, CLA2A on the hat loop. There's a little build up here where I just put an OTT to make it a bit more shiny. And what do we have here on the bus? As you can see, it's very, it's very simple. Just get rid of the low end, made some space for the vocals here at 500. Right behind that, I added this UAD compressor. Love this one. Just caught it, copied it a few months ago. And then C2 compressor with there's a side chain on the top drums. Yeah, sometimes I know it's risky, but you see the threshold is super high. But it's important for me that somehow the top drums get blended under the kick for this type of music. So you see the side chain is still reasonable, didn't overdo it. There was no point doing this. Add in the subs. Is there any sub here? Nope. Subs is for the last part. There goes our sub. I love this plug, man. I mean, I have to say this is like one of the truest collaboration I've ever made with Chris. He came here this summer, like I said, did his thing, how we just exchanged stems. He sent me back a bunch of things. That's actually how I restarted the whole session. Those are his stems. I love working on arrangements, the little details, polish things, mix it up. I'm really happy with this track because everything felt so organic, so fluent. It was just, I don't want to say we made it look easy, but it wasn't a headache to make this track. Some tracks sometimes can take a long time to be, fully on point, but this one, man, it just feels good. Which brings me to the last part, the vocals. We wanted like a soulful but yet nostalgic, a bit cold voice. Can't say it's a very warm and soulful. It has that vibe though. It's bringing out this emotion. Like I said in the beginning, the song is about nostalgia, and we all have these moments that we miss. This could be the soundtrack to it. Even in the content, that's what we chose to do. We just went into our own phones and looked for like old videos from our holidays, moments that we missed and that we never get to live again. So next to all the lyrics and stuff, I'll let you find out about the full song. Of course, go check it out. It's out on every platform. What have I done to the vocals? In terms of mixing, we knew we had to clean up a little. I mean, a lot. Not gonna lie, man. Let's take it to the chorus so we can have the full energy. Let me play the dry vocals so you see where we come from. It's already good, right? It's already good. So, what have I done? Q4, added a little peak here around 2000, get rid of the low end. This is the basic cleanup. You know what it is. The first EQ, I always like to do that. Use the RVox to, bring these vocals back on top. CLA2A, a little compression. I mean, yeah, it's still quite a strong compression here. De-esser. I mean, of course, get rid of all these. UAD compressor, once again, very important. This one right here is taking care of the sidechain. Threshold is pretty high. Once again, this is also something I used to do a lot back then, is compress a lot, no, I've learned through the years that it's just about subtle changes one after the other, and then there you go, you have something very clean. So I see I added two other EQs. Get rid of, oh yeah, this is where we get into details. Get rid of a bunch of resonances. Those little things that pile up at the end of your mix and you don't understand why it all sounds muddy and dirty. So 2 EQs, and yeah, I guess I got rid of another chorus over here. But that's basically it, guys. I mean, it's a bunch of things on that vocal chain. There's a bus 3 here as the reverb, classic. Sometimes I automate it when I need it to rise and take more space, but that's basically it, guys. That's how we produce How You Made Me Feel alongside CHRISUPTOWN. Let me just play a part, because, man, honestly, I feel like I think this is one of my favorite songs. How you made me feel, but for it was real. I started in the light, I still bleed for that night. That's pretty much it, guys. This is how we produce How You Made Me Feel. Make sure you sign up to this channel, leave a comment. You know how it goes. There's gonna be much more to it. This is the first song of my project called Underworld, which drops November 28th. I'm gonna take you, can I say underground? I'm not even sure. There's gonna be 4 new songs. This is the smoothest one. We have some harder shit coming out as well. Make sure to check me out on the socials. As usual, hit me in the DM. Let's have a conversation. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you. My name is Jay. If you're not familiar with me, I'm a music producer and DJ based in Brussels, Belgium. This was my breakdown of this new song called How You Made Me Feel alongside CHRISUPTOWN. I hope you enjoyed this content, and I'll see you on the next one.